in the West, they say the heroes are long dead. Out here in the West. But you're no hero, are you? You're a pack of wolves, liars, murderers, and cheats. But when you boarded that cursed train, you got a whole heap more than you bargained for. They say death comes for us all. Just make sure he comes for you last. Hard West, too.
Hello, everybody. Are you having fun at Steam Next Fest? I hope you are. Welcome to those of you who are on Twitch, and welcome to those of you who are on Steam for Hard West 1. So I'm super pleased to introduce to you today Jack from Ice Code Games, who is the lead game designer. Jack, how you doing?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Yay, awesome. Okay, well, there's lots of stuff that I know you want to ask, and we're very excited to do that. But first, maybe, Jack, you could tell people a little bit about, like, what does a lead game designer do?
Oh, that's a very complicated question. Well, the game lead designer is solving problems all the time.
Okay.
So there is a very short time when he is creative and he, lies some fundamentals for the game, and for the most time after that he just solve all the problems that occurs because of his creativity at the beginning. So yeah, it
I
is
see.
like chewing your own tail. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yes, so you create the thing and then spend all your time fixing the thing that other
Yes.
people are now playing. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yes. Can
And
you
that
say your
brings
full
a lot of
name,
problems.
which I'm sure is beautiful, that I cannot pronounce?
My name is Jacek, which means Jack April.
Aw, yeah, no, I won't even attempt it, but it is beautiful. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so for those who have never played Hard West 2 and are like, what are you guys doing here? Can you kind of break this down and give us like a summary of Hard West 2?
Hard West is a story-driven tactical game set in a Western setting with some supernatural elements, horrorish little bit. And its unique feature is this bravado mechanic, which refills action points every time a character kills an opponent, which allows the player to do much more during their turn, and which often looks like a badass action scenes from the movies. Uh,
Awesome.
so that's a Hard West 2 in the nutshell.
Yes, it's hard to summarize an entire game into one sentence, but that's great. And for those of you who happen to be here during Next Fest, there is a demo available. So while we show this, and you can kind of see some gameplay in the background while we're doing stuff, you can jump over and play it yourself. So hopefully you will be inspired to do so as we do this. Okay, so we have a lot of questions from people that have played the beta, people that have played the demo, and just our Hard West 1 original community. So let's jump into them a little bit, but we would love to take your questions too. So if you have some, please put them in chat, and we'll make sure that we get to you. Okay, so first of all, Magic Blog on Steam asks, does the game have an equipment like helmets, armor, pants replacement system? How does that work?
No, and we believe that there are so many character development elements like cards, traits, skills, trinkets, consumables, and of course a diverse selection of weapons that we don't really need additional systems. Also, during the development, we find out that in a Hard West setting, some like, I don't know, cowboy hat that gives +4 to armor, or brand new jeans that gives +6 to dodge is somewhat, I don't know, far-fetched and
You don't like a
arbitrary.
bandana that gives you +10 stamina or something?
Uh, yeah, I think it will be somewhat weird. Just close sometimes need to stay be close. Just
Yes.
yeah.
Now, I have to ask, in the first
Mhm.
one of the first missions in the prologue, there's a section where you go get Laughing Deer's gear. Everyone, I think, expects Laughing Deer to have some kind of clothing items. What is in this bag? Remind me what is in the gear that you get when you recover
It
that.
is his trinket that gives some boost to melee attacks, and you get it after the mission ends. In the summary screen, you will see the trinket that you collected from the box.
Ah, okay. There. See?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so people are saying there's no equipment system. Are there custom skins or some sort of different way to make you stand out, I guess?
No, right now there's no plans to add something like this.
Yeah, we'll have to see what you guys say. If there's a huge demand, like we might consider that, but it's not part of the original plan. So there you go.
Yes,
Okay.
that wasn't our goal to do customization like with with only the look of the character.
Right. Fashion closet for your
Yeah.
fun. Okay, so is there a way to highlight enemies on the screen? Jack of Tears on Steam asks that. Just let me turn my Discord off.
To be honest, I don't really understand this question because, as I believe, you can highlight enemies on the screen with no problem when you select, for example, a trick shot ability or any other ability which the target is the enemy. So there will be always highlighted if you choose an ability which target is an enemy.
Gotcha. And there's also outlines, like yellow outlines of your enemy. I don't feel like I've ever had a problem where I wasn't sure where someone was.
So I don't know, maybe something lost in translation or misunderstanding.
Gotcha. Viper IT says you can wear a cowboy hat while you're playing. They suggest that you
Yes,
dress up for the occasion.
yes,
Nice.
I'm doing this all the time. Only today I wear this cap
I see. I see.
to not be a weirdo.
Well, you do have like a themed, Western thing happening with your shirt there. There's all sorts of tomahawks and stuff.
Yes, yes, there's some skulls and some bonfires and snakes and tomahawks. So yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate this. I appreciate your investment and dedication in that.
I
Okay.
don't have any other clothes. It's a character.
It's all Western themed from here on out. There you go.
Of course, I'm joking. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there's been a lot of questions about this, and I have not heard back from our press or influencers quite yet because we're not at the point where we're announcing the date. People are wondering how many hours it would take to finish the game, and do you want to replay? What sort of game is it?
So we have about 20 plus hours of content. Of course, if you do every side quest and side objectives on tactical mission, and of course it depends from the difficult mode you choose. So it's about 20 plus, maybe 25. It will of course depend from the player. As to replayability, hard word in English, replayability. That wasn't our goal. We were always focused on bringing a somewhat streamlined but solid and deliberate experience. So there are no randomized elements in the game like events or missions. There's nothing random in it. So I assume that replayability comes, with some surprises from the game systems. So every tactical mission in Hardware 2 will be always the same. However, your approach can be totally different according to the build of your posse. So every posse member has a different playstyle that also can be modified freely with equipment. So even if you play the same mission with the same level design, uh, it may feel totally different if you choose a different posse roster. Also, different difficulty settings may provide quite different experiences. For example, Nightmare mode will change some basic rules of the game. Uh, which may also be quite refreshing for players that already finished the game on default difficulties. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah. I mean, loyalty
that's
is also
all.
a thing, right? Like, I mean, I want to kind of get to the point where I can up my special abilities and have some really OP stuff happening if I can get loyalty happening. Can you maybe describe that too? I don't think there's any questions regarding it, but I think it's a really neat feature of the game.
Loyalty systems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So when you take a part in the events on the world map, you can score these loyalty points for your posse, and some thresholds of these loyalty points will unlock traits, special traits for loyalty, and yeah, that will also influence the gameplay on the tactical mission. Of course, these certain thresholds will unlock some additional lines and some additional actions during the world map events, and they can provide, some other equipment. So yeah, those changes going on, and yeah, I think they will bring some replayability value to this.
Cool. Yeah, extra RPG elements are always welcome, especially when they lead to you like harvesting loot.
Yeah, that. But we don't have a randomized loot, so uh, there is also no grind mechanics. So you will have to manage your resources often. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so a lot of people have asked things about modes, and you kind of hinted about difficulty. Maybe we can go into the different ones. They are asking if there's an Iron Man mode for this.
No, we didn't decide for Iron mode because we have these pre-made posse characters with their own stories on Hard West, and it will make no sense. The features like permadeath, they won't fit into our game. Hard West 2 is a story-driven tactical game, so it's less punishing than other games of the genre. Yeah, you don't have this like in XCOM soldiers that you can, change them from some other soldiers, treat them like cannon fodder. No, they are, living persons in this world, so they can be swapped. Uh, so some of the mechanics of classic Iron mode won't fit here and won't be possible technically. So yeah, so we don't have this Iron mode. Also, we want to focus player you know, on happily experiments. Yeah, so yeah, we don't want to punish them so much.
Yeah.
We want to experiment them with skills, weapons, consumables, so tactics.
So you mentioned nightmare mode, and there's a story mode too. Can you kind of maybe talk a little bit about, what if you were not so good at turn-based tactical games? What if you are great at turn-based tactical games? How does this game work for you?
Mm, so your question is which mode should I pick, depending on what level of skills I am? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So if you are completely new to the tactical games and what brings you here is just, this setting, the story. I would suggest, of course, the story mode for you. It's This mode is, very, I think, um, how can I say? It's not so punishing, and however, still it have a beating heart of the hardware too. There is still some challenge, in our bravado puzzle. You still have to, you still have to figure out how to use certain skills and abilities and consumables of the posse to kill that many bandits as it's possible. However, when you make a mistake, the game won't punish you as much as on the other difficulties. And the nightmare difficulty is quite opposite of this. Also, it changed quite a bit how the chance to hit mechanic works, and it is I would advise the nightmare mode for those who are really feels good in the tactical games, or they finish the hardest two once and want to play the game again, and they are looking for some refreshing to the formula, and they want to really master their skills, because also on the nightmare every mission has a time limit, to test the player's knowledge of bravado system and how to use this.
Gotcha. Yes. Thank you for that question, Hazard Mutation. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are asking that question about. I mean, Harvest One had sort of a bit of a like vignettes of stories that were happening with different characters and in different sort of weaved into kind of one story together. But a lot of people are asking about this, if it's like a continuous story, if you can get invested in the characters. How does the tale, without spoiling, how does the tale of Hard West happen with this posse?
Oh, that's a huge question, but
Yes.
yes. So, uh, what's the difference from the Hardwest one is that we have, this one story with stable posse, and there are no switching between episodes. There are no resets of the equipment or your roster. Yes, this is integral, consistent story that comes from the beginning to the end, like the other stories.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, uh, do I answer on your question? Because I
Yeah. No,
don't
you
want
did.
to come in the spoiler area, because I think the story is worth to discover it on yourself.
Yeah, no, you did. You did. I mean, also,
Okay.
I want to just throw that out there that a lot of people really love this posse because they're really interested in the voice actors. And we have Kevin
Mhm.
Conroy did Batman the Animated Series, Darian Sills Evans from Days Gone, Adam Gifford Colony, and then we have some like really nice music as well from Jason Graves who did Dead Space. So people are really responding, like getting attached to posse members, and they have favorites too. Like I love when Navi's plays because it's all Laughing Deer all the time. Like she loves Laughing Deer, but it's kind of cool to see people's like favorite posse members that they prefer.
Yeah, it's cool. I can agree on that.
Do you have
However,
a favorite?
laughing there is really polarizing people, because uh, it depends if someone gets that the male skills and the male character is the most powerful one in the game, and there are some people that see the laughing deer and things like, man, that guy brings a wooden club on the gunfight. Are you crazy? And there are some people that just like, oh man, he's so overpowered,
Oh man, he
and
gets two
yes, he
hits.
is.
Got to do it. Got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something that everybody needs to discover on its own. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And people don't realize sometimes, like, in addition to the cards that you can get wild run, like, you can equip whatever you want. If you don't like a club, you can put a gun. Like, it doesn't have to
Yes,
be.
that's right, and that's that's also sometimes not so obvious that, hey, this guy can also have a gun. Why not have a
Right.
gun and just
Right.
shoot? Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we have a couple questions like this. I'm gonna probably answer them myself. Themis Killer on Steam is asking about Mac compatibility, and there's someone else who is asking about different languages later too. Right now, it's coming out for PC. It's coming out for like the standard languages that most of us do: English, French, German, Polish, Russian. That's like pretty standard for Steam's choices. And then, of course, PC, but we will think about other options depending on what you guys would really like to see after the launch of the game. That's the time to kind of tell us, like, oh, we would really love to have this, and we can make those decisions. So, I'm gonna not really go into those right now, but I want to acknowledge at least that Themis Killer that you had asked a question, and there's your answer. Okay, so I don't know if it's Hercules. I want to say Hercules, but it's not.
Hercules.
Hercules on Steam is asking about
Yeah.
mod support. So some people are very interested in this. What do you think? What would you
Right
mod?
now, there are no plans to add something like this, or I don't know anything about this.
What would
Maybe,
you mod if you could mod
they're
something?
hiding from me.
like appearance, like you would mod appearances and maybe extra weapons or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Oh, Dream Knife is asking. I mean, we definitely have to have a stream with like the writers and such like that, so we can delve into all the details of the story. But then Dream Knife is asking, hypothetically and purely for academic interest, how does one make a deal with the devil? I don't
How
know.
does one make a deal? How to do this?
Yes.
I don't know. In your home,
Yes.
I wouldn't recommend this. Of
Did
course.
you research this before you did this game?
Yes, of course. We research everything that is in the game, even ricocheting.
That's right. Your Google history is tainted now. How does one
Yeah,
make a deal with the devil?
yeah. So no, I wouldn't recommend this really.
There you go.
This is something that should stay, in the fiction.
Right. Didn't work out for Jin very well, I don't think. Nor his friends. So something that people did notice, which was very cool, and Navi's talked about it a little bit last time, is that Jin does not have a shadow, which is a great, like, cohesive
Mhm.
design choice of yours.
Yeah.
Wake the hell up, Jin. Come on, open your eyes.
I have
Okay.
to say it is so cool. We just absolutely love this.
Good. Okay,
The idea.
Kevin W on Steam is asking, in some missions in Hard West 1, the enemies were not in alert condition at the beginning, and you could walk around free before an enemy becomes alert. So that gave people time to kind of stand at vantage points, etc. Is there an alert in this game, and how does that kind of work in Hard West 2?
Do it later.
Ah,
Let's move.
that's a very interesting question and quite complicated. However, uh, there is no such mechanic in the Hard West because as we were focusing on bringing very consistent bravado-oriented gameplay, uh, during very early development, we found out that stealthy approach doesn't really fit to our game. Yeah, we found out that all these setup stages in similar games supports, defensive playstyle, and the defensive playstyle is totally not our thing. So, Hard West 2 is about being a bold gunslinger with a master plan in his head. Um, if you think about our missions as a Western movie scenes, uh, we always get straight to the action. Yeah, as Hard West goes, always straight to the action. So
Mm-hmm.
our mission setups are like the brawl in the saloon just started, or and they pulled out the guns and started to shoot, or Posse approach a train just at the moment when the girls opened fire. So we go always, to this very, very, very what's the I lost some. Okay, action-oriented gameplay. Yeah. Yes. I skipped the stuff. So, but all these previous events, like the posse quietly approaches the bandit camp, we move to the dialogues on the world map that precedes missions. So the player still can I don't know, experience them, but in the form of the narration, not the gameplay.
I see.
Yep.
Viper IT would like to know if we would pass on their marriage proposal to Flynn. A lot of people love Flynn. They're really into, like, she's very badass.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna ask, do you have a favorite? Like, I know it's probably like picking from your children, but do you have like a favorite character that you like kind of go to?
Me?
Yeah, yeah. I'm putting you on the spot. I'm asking.
What do you mean go to? Because I
Like,
don't
you
understand.
prefer this story and you really love to like spend time with this one posse member.
One posse member. I think it will be the posse member that you haven't heard already.
Ah.
So I don't know if I can speak about this.
Just say the name. Just say the name.
However, she's named Claylish.
Ah.
But from this posse that we can met in our beta, I think the Old Man Bill will be someone I would like to meet, and just listen to his stories. Because often when I meet people, I have to talk very much because I'm a lead. So this time I would like to hear someone else tell me just stories, and could shut up and relax myself, and that will be wonderful. And also, I will drink with him whiskey because he is a big whiskey enthusiast, and me too. So yeah.
I feel like his stories would be horrific, though. Wouldn't they? I mean, I don't know.
I think it will be really moody and down to the earth.
Yes,
But
and under the earth. I mean, he could be like, I spent 3 months buried. That would be a little boring story, but maybe cool.
there will be much of grain in this.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave Lad on Discord asked, how big is the map going to be?
Uh, quite huge. Okay. So what we can see in the beta is about 10 to 12% of our
Jen,
world map area.
I want you to think very carefully about
And
what
in the
you're about
final
to do.
game, you will have these 3 regions. There will be not only frozen wilds and forests, but also some more classic westerns biomes like desert or prairies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Prairie's good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think people would be encouraged to see that. The prologue has been largely snowy, so I know, guys, you hear them complaining about the weather a lot when they walk around the map, but there's other places that they're going to visit too.
Right.
Yes. Okay, cross-gen on Steam, and we've had this request a number of times. Is there controller support in the game currently?
And there are some plans to add this, but I don't have idea what's the status now.
You'd better
And
watch where you're pointing that rotten finger.
stay
Gotcha.
tuned.
Okay, okay.
This is all I can say now. Stay tuned.
Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
it is something that we consider. We consider a lot of things. Believe us.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
so Rot Tafel wants to know if there's secret locations to explore or hidden loot.
Um, yeah, yeah. Our world map requires some careful exploration. There are some hidden places and hidden loot. Some getting some loot also requires have some loyalty thresholds or special items. So yeah, that will be some like sometimes like adventure like puzzles.
Okay. Now, let's take an opportunity to talk about cards here because chat is very interested in it. I kind of stank at cards, especially poker. Like to play this game, can you talk about a little bit how the cards work? And also, do you have to have an understanding of like card games to use them?
No, there in the full game there gonna be a cheat sheet that will show all the poker hands that you need to know to properly understand character development. So yeah, you don't have to know search in your mobile phone
Yes.
the poker hands and how to use them. But that's
Excellent.
interesting question because for us for very long times it was something natural. Yeah, everybody knows the poker, right? I don't know. Of course not. Of course not. It was only our imagination.
I know what you guys do for fun game nights.
Yeah.
Yes. In Discord, which there will be a link in chat for those of you who are there, we do have a bot now that will play Texas Hold'em with you if you have three or more people. So there is a channel for those who want to play cards, just purely for fun, obviously. But yeah, jump into Discord if you want to learn Texas Hold'em, and you can play that one at least. Okay.
Yeah. So our card system works in the classic poker, not Texas Hold'em. However, we consider Texas Hold'em as well in some
Yeah.
time of development, but yeah, we
If I
end
could
with the
have got a
classic
poker bot, I would have. I just couldn't get one. So this is the best I could do. All
Yeah.
right. So question about comparing weapons. Yeah, that's interesting. So will there be an opportunity to compare weapons with the ones that you have currently equipped before you purchase them?
Sadly, we can't do this because there will be some problems in developing this because in the later game we have 6 posse, and that will give us 12 slots for weapons. So we find out that comparing it and choosing which slot you have to compare, that will be really messy. So we are thinking about other solution to this problem, but this comparing won't be seen in the final game.
Gotcha. House Bailey is asking regarding the card hand of Dead Man's Hand. Will that have a special bonus? I don't know. What is a Dead Man's Hand for those of us who don't know poker very well? And does it have a bonus? Does Bill get like a special bonus for Dead Man's Hand? He's like, I'm gonna look this up.
Dead Man's Hand. Um, the makeup of poker Dead Man's Hands has varied through the years. Companies is a two-hair poker hand consisting of the black aces and black eights. That there is no because we don't have eights in the we have our figures goes from 9 to aces and jokers. However, we don't have eights, so yeah, we didn't consider this. Hmm,
It's clever
this
though. Clever.
this type of hand. However, I believe trait that his name is Dead Man's Hand. I think it's Old Man Bill's trait. So there will be some connection.
Cool. Cool.
Right.
Okay. More loading screens. Yes, people have asked for this too. I guess I play over and over. Are there going to be more loading screens for you to look at while you're waiting?
So we Ice Code Games team, we want to thank you for all your supports about loading screens. Yeah, we figured out that we have only one, and and okay, but to be honest, yeah, that there will be more loading screens with some more weapons and some more hints. Uh, we just have this one in the beta because you must understand that such a features are always at low priority during game development, and we decided to do this nearly at the end because there were so many more important features to deliver. And also, I don't know if you know, but our team is about 37 to 40 persons, so we are not a big team, and all the resources have to be carefully uh, how can I say, um, carefully management. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They've noticed though, and that's great. Look, guys, there's more coming, so you can look at that while you load. Okay, a question about customizing your characters. We touched on this a little bit, but is there a way other than appearance to customize your characters?
Yes, so you have quite a freedom to customize how the character, let's say, works on the tactical mission. So they have this different cards and trinkets and consumables, and I think the uh, what will customize your posse the most, it will be these weapons that they get, because as we say about laughing deer, laughing deer will work completely different if he have only male weapons, and he will behave completely different if he have, I don't know, sniper rifles or something like that. It's a crazy idea, but still you can do this, and maybe you will make your game style around it. So we're happy to see this maybe someday on the YouTube, the laughing deer with the rifle. Yeah,
Yes.
that will be crazy to see. Uh, yeah, and I think that's all, and
Okay.
that's quite much.
Okay. Is there a journal or a way to keep track of your progress in the game?
Mm, no, because during our play tests, we find out that our quests are so easy to follow that we not need additional support in the form of journal. And so we really doesn't have an idea how to make journal. I don't know, maybe not very unique, but something that will stand out. That will be something more than just, oh, there was this day and I do this and I must now bring this to the.
Yes,
We
yes.
don't have a good idea for this, so we just we assume that the map pins on the world map and some just records on the mission objective will be enough. And yeah, as we find
Winter
out, they
in
are not.
June.
Yeah. Plus, you have those side objectives that are hovering in the corner with the little hands that are always like kind of floating there. So there's definitely like you're not gonna miss out if you're not paying attention to your quest
Right.
parts. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, in every type of turn-based tactical game, there are always debates about this is OP, that is OP, this is not strong enough, that is not strong enough. One of the things that we kind of hear a lot is maybe bravado, ricochet, unlimited ammo. Sometimes are perceived as like OP features in the game. So, as a game designer, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of times when you're balancing stuff, etc. But what do you think about these particular mechanics that are being mentioned?
Ooh, my lashes are freezing over.
So if we extract those mechanics straight from the hard West 2 and put them in the other tactical game, for example, XCOM, yeah, they will feel very, very overpowered. However, in Hard West 2, they are, this heartbeats of this game, and the whole the game was designed around this, especially bravado mechanic, which at the first glance, yes, it feels overpowered. It gives you this power fantasy of a badass gunslinger, and that's what we want to achieve. But uh, when you play the full game, you will see that the challenges and threats that we built around the bravado mechanic, yeah, to counter it, uh, will be difficult enough to know to make your life miserably. Especially on the nightmare mode. Believe me, I'm developing this game for 3 years, and still I have a big problems in the nightmare difficulty to
Oh.
finish some
Shit.
some missions.
They
Even
began
I should know them by heart, but still, it's very complicated and very difficult. So don't worry. We have we have handled that.
Yes. Now, just for my own edification with Ricochet. Okay, so let's say you're standing there and you ricochet off of something and you hit one ricochet off of something and you hit someone. What if you try to ricochet off of multiple things? Does your percentage to hit go down, or how does percentage to hit work? Is it far? If it's farther away, is it less? How does that all work with Ricochet? Because I find myself debating this internally a lot.
So it will be soon out of possible range of the weapon. Um, so every time you drew a line to the ricochet points, you make this throat for the bullet more and more longer, and soon the possibility of hitting anything will just come to an end. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
uh, there is no penalty strict in the just bouncing the bullet. There is no penalty, but you must remember that this when you just changing the turning of the bullet in a dramatical way, you also expanding the distance that the bullet have to travel, and yeah, it will be often end with 0%
Okay, so it is
hit.
realistic then. Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah.
But no bouncing off three things and hitting the back of someone. Okay, noted.
Yes,
Noted.
this is some Pythagoras geometry thing. I'm not good at this, but yeah,
Angle
the
calculations.
programmer says it works. I believe them.
Okay, good. Let's see. Will there be options to manage the font display in the game. I guess making things bigger for visually impaired players or people maybe on their Steam Deck that are trying it out.
That's the end of the question.
It is, yes, yes. Can you make the font
Oh.
display bigger?
Font display. We already made it. In the full version, the fonts will be bigger. However, we're still considering to make some other options, to make them bigger, bigger, bigger. So, so this is something we still consider. However, globally, all the fonts in the game were are bigger in the final version of the game.
Ah, nice. Okay, now some previous Hard West 1 players asking if the inventory management system is the same where player inventory was reset at the end of each campaign, or like each act of the campaign.
Now, as we said, Hardwest 2 presents a consistent story, so the roster of the boss and their equipment doesn't reset or change without player control at any time.
Okay, now we're gonna get into the questions. These are the hard ones, right? These are the tough ones. People are asking, and they love this mechanic in certain games, but why isn't there Overwatch in this game?
That's a very good question, because Hardwest 1 doesn't have this, so we just put this one with a legacy. No, so to be serious, we found out that Overwatch promotes defensive playstyle, and as we said, this is something that we want to make different. This is the defensive playstyle isn't the hardest to think. Yeah, we want to focus on aggressive playstyles without those turtling approaches. We want to focus the player on actions that they are performing during its turn, not in the turn of the enemies. And yeah, yeah, I think that every person that played Hardwest 2 for about more than 1 hour agrees with us that that was a good choice. Good choice to especially keep this unique identity of the Hardwest 2.
Gotcha. Also, Diva and Zenyatta don't fit in this game. Sorry. Okay, another one is the camera. People have thoughts about the camera, especially the camera being locked. So some people would like to do a move and then be able to select another unit while that one's moving and kind of like, expedite their actions. So why is the camera locked?
Well, uh, so in the other titles of this genre, there are two actions per round, two action points. Yeah, we have three. Oh, okay, but it's not a big success. But I'm going to tell you what makes this difference. Okay, there are two actions per round, and also the unit can perform them in very strict order. That you can move and then shot or use some ability, uh, or you can just shoot and then the turn comes to an end of this unit. So they are very strict of this what you can do during your turn, during the unit turn. Yeah. But in Hardwest 2, we have this three action points, and this one more makes a big difference because uh, we also break this order. You can, for example, shoot and then move, or you can move, do an attack, mail attack, and then move to some cover on to some other unit, or to use skill or consumable, and then get the bravado and get another free action point. So there is so many scenarios that can happen in the unit's turn during its movement with so diverse um, results that such a convenience um, was not possible to achieve in a reasonable time of development. We just, want to focus on the freedom that we can give to the player, but this, as you may assume, comes with a price, and yeah, um, this is the price. However, in the full game, there will be a feature that will allow you to make a dynamic decisions to speed up animations of a single ability with just a single mouse click. So you can be dynamic and decide what you want to see, what do you want speed up or not, on what is interesting for you. And yeah, I have to say it is so cool. We just absolutely love it.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean that is the question. I think that maybe one of the reasons that this is being asked is that game speed is a thing, right? And a lot of people I don't believe are paying attention to the corner there. Can you talk about like game speed and how you can change that in addition to this really neat feature about certain abilities?
Um, yeah, you can change the speed of animations both on tactical missions and on the world map. And you have in the top right of the screen, you have this icon with X1 and no, this clock shape that will speed up the whole animations of the game. And also, as I said, there is this feature that speed ups the game like 6 times for just one animation of certain ability. So yeah, you can play this game in many many way as you prefer if it comes to the speed of the animations. And also you can even make it slower and you can make
Mm.
about the speed of half of the normal speed. So if you want, I don't know, to record some epic sequence of the bravado, um, you can do this in the slow motion.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And if you jump it up to 6 speed, let's be honest. Let's real talk. Are you like literally twerking your little character? I can see them at 6 times just going. "La, la, 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 la." That would be hilarious.
Yeah, but it's useful sometimes when you just want to speed up moving
Skip to it.
and yeah,
Yeah.
and skip to the things that you're really interested in.
One mechanic we haven't really touched on that was definitely present in Hard West 1 and is a bit different in Hard West 2 is luck. Can you kind of
Mhm.
go into luck and how that changes the gameplay or does not, etc.?
And so the question is how the luck changes from Hard West 1 to Hard West 2, yeah?
Yeah, if you can, if you know, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
oh, great, great. I wasn't sure how much
Yeah,
you
yeah.
delved into Hard West One. Okay.
Yeah, I was sober when we developed it. Yeah. So there because it's a very long story and the story is very complicated because I don't know where to start. Uh, so let's start from the Hard West 1. So when we read the reviews of the Hard West 1, we found out that uh, every person understands a little bit differently how the luck works. And it was because it wasn't in the game um, so obvious how many luck points have enemies because it works like somewhat this energy shield that if the energy shield goes down, so the luck of the enemy, it gets a hit. Yeah. And so when you have this percent of chance to hit, it wasn't percent of chance to hit, it was just how many luck points, so this energy shield, you uh, bring down from the enemy from with the single shot. And it wasn't very clear for the people. And of course, I'm speaking about this basic rule of the luck because there was also this thing that luck was some kind of mana for using skills. Yeah, so that was his second main purpose. um but what we found out, what was the most important about luck? It was that it mitigates, this bad experience of RNG. For example, in XCOM, yeah, you have this classic situation that you have alien on 95%. You have this shotgun near his face, and you shoot, and you miss, and you shoot twice, and you miss, and you just was you were pissed off always with this situation. And luck was something that should make you sure that the second shot won't fail. Maybe the first one, but the second shot won't fail, because this is not something that puts the game forward. It's just a bad luck, and I don't know. I just wanted to make load, and that's all. So so
Kind of
we are
complicated.
yes, it's very complicated, and we are just at the beginning. So, but what's the most important from this very long part about hardest one is that we just uh, we assumed that luck should mitigate this RNG bad consequences, and it is the fundamentals on which we developed our luck 2.0 in the hard west. So now luck works some like karma. If something bad happens to you, you get these luck points. Something bad, I mean, when you get hit or if you missed a shot, you get these luck points to to turn the tides of the battle into your sorry alarm into your advantage. So yeah, this is how the luck goes. It just boosts up the chance to hit. You can toggle it to use all the time, or you can be more manageable with this, which is advised in the early game, because there will be some traits that will work, will trigger depending on how much luck points you have. If you have, for example, 100 luck points, there will be a character that will be able to heal his full HP. So it will be a very powerful trait. But yeah, that will be only possible if you will be careful of luck management, and you don't spend on every shot, how many luck you want. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a neat feature. I did not know about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, guys, we're getting close to the end of the stream, so ask your last questions now. And my last question for you, unless the chat has more to ask, is how does it feel to see your game out there now? I mean, you've been working on this for a really long time, and surprise, people are playing it. So, what is that like?
How do I feel?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel really happy, but not like happy. I feel fulfilled, really. Yeah. First time in my life, I feel fulfilled that the development process was a rush,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard, and our team was, uh, we're going together during the development, but thanks to our producers, thanks to our management, that didn't explode, and yeah, we really carried it out, and we are very proud of this game. That it's it's somewhat classical represent of this genre, and but still have its own identity, and tries to do new things, and try to present the player a different approach of the tactical genre. And yeah, I hope that the player will like this at least that much as they like the beta version. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Well, we are getting ever closer to the announcement for the release date, so everyone should stay tuned. We're going to be throwing some links around for Discord, and of course, you should wishlist the game if you have not, so you can make sure you get all the news when it's getting ready for release, etc. But yeah, you can also again play the demo right now until the 20th for Steam Next Fest. So hopefully you will do that, and hopefully you'll really enjoy it. But thanks to Jack for being here. I really appreciate all the delving
you.
into this, and I hope you come on again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your very good, leading this conversation. I hope to
Appreciate
hear
it.
you again.
Awesome. Okay, bye guys.
Bye bye.